Oh, and it has been decided. That has not been decided. But it has been. Ashley is, she thinks she's gonna help Boyd to be in her primary.
It's not gonna take much at this point.
No, for sure. Well, I got things.
Hey, I did, go ahead and do whatever you need to do.
Huh?
I got your email.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it. I meant to answer, I tried and it rejected it, so then I said, well, I'll give her a call. But
Well, thank you for trying. Thanks, Corey. Great.
it'd be good for the call.
Yeah.
You got my blessing.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. We're able to take the craft quarters back here. We're having court. It's running a good bit over. Thank you for coming out. Like always, the board and all of us really appreciate your participation. I'll get it out in a minute. We're assistance, good government. At this time, I'd like to call on Alderman Bless for the invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, overlook this meeting, let us do everything in your will and everything we do for you. And, thank you for the beautiful weather we're having, and, maybe we'll get a little rain, protect everybody during the hurricane, and protect some of our people that's been hurt in the hospital. And, Mr. Gene Riley had a wreck on a motorcycle, and helped him get well, and our other man is in the hospital, and, his wife. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. Would you please join us in the pledge of allegiance led by Alderman White?
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Robinson, please, sir.
Alderman White,
Here.
Alderman Bledsoe,
Here.
Alderman Johnson,
Here.
Alderman Roberts.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. All right, number one on the agenda is the vote on the municipal docket. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman White,
I move that we accept the municipal docket as stated.
is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman White,
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe, Alderman Geis, Alderman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Roberts.
Aye.
5 in favor, 2 absent, the motion carries. All right, number 2 on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman White,
I move that we accept the consent agenda items A through E.
Is there a second to the motion? Second by Alderman Johnson. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Guys. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 2 absent. Number 3 is the claims docket. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman White.
I move we accept the claims docket if items are budgeted and money is available. General fund, 238, 656.94. Library fund, 10450.87. Economic development fund, 954.62. Utility fund, 121,708.71. Total docket, 371,771.14.
Is there a second? Second by Alderman Johnson. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman White. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Guys. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Roberts.
Nay.
Motion carried. 4 in favor, 1 opposed, 2 absent. Number 4 on the agenda, special gifts and presentations.
I don't know of any, Mr.
I don't know of any either. Anybody? Okay, moving on down to new business. Number 5, resolution to claim private property. That's a public hearing, which is now open. Is there anyone to speak on these properties? Yea or nay? There being none, public hearing is now closed. We have a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman White.
I move that we accept a resolution to claim private properties with the addresses and parcels that was publicly advertised. Second.
All right, we got a motion by Alderman White, second by Alderman Roberts. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Guys. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 2 absent. Going down to letter B. Is there a motion for letter B?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman White.
letter B is a request to use Laverne Lakes Park November 10th for the Lake Cornwall Band Boosters Color Run. I move that we grant that. Second.
Motion by Alderman White, second by Alderman Roberts. Any discussion? Yes, sir. Everything's fine with you. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman White.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman Guys. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Roberts.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 2 absent. Letter C.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman White.
I move to approve Heartland Church Block Party at Shadow Glen Park, September 29th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Got a motion by Alderman White, second by Alderman Bledsoe. Is there any discussion? Mr. Calvin, everything okay with you?
Yes, sir. It's the 3rd year, sir, and they've always cleaned up and, always had a good events.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts. Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Guys. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
Motion carries 5 in favor, 2 absent. All right, letter D is a public hearing on the proposed 2019 budget and proposed tax levies. Now declare this public hearing open. Mr. Jim,
Yes, sir.
where are you? I want to apologize that we had it all set up to use the big screen out front with everything on it, but that fell through. Yes, sir, Mr. Jim.
Yes, if, there were copies over here, if you, came in, hopefully you got a copy. But you'll see the budget summary there that, has the 2018, that budget that was approved and the 2019 budget that was proposed. On that first sheet, you'll see last year's, general fund revenue was $15,782,355. And the projected, proposed 2019 revenues is $17,140,705 for the revenues. The biggest increase there you'll see is cash opening 400,000 that we didn't have last year. That is our money for Horn Lake Road that we're carrying forward. And then we have a lease of $506,000 for revenue coming in for leased vehicles, which is, that right there, those two items are close to $1 million difference. Going to the departments, you can see the executive total for last year was $100,440. This year is $101,035. The legislative board of aldermen is $189,150, and that is $191,765 for next year. And most of these increases are due to our PERS retirement fund that they have increased, so it's causing a little more expense to the departments. The court judicial, which you see is $495,235. This next year is $511,020. Finance admin is last year was $283,750. This year $304,440. Planning last year was $220,050, and this next year proposed is $232,325. Next page you'll see police. Last year's budget approved was $5,534,500. This year proposed is $6,082,000. The fire department last year was $3,574,650, and proposed 2019 is $4,025,650. Street department was $900,775 last year, with that going up proposed for next year $1,066,775. Animal control, again, that one, some of the departments just had expense with PERS and a few other line items. Last year, animal control was $171,500. Now goes to $178,510 proposed for next year. Parks and Rec, last year was $720,400. What is proposed for this year is $767,300. The Parks and Rec tournament goes from $60,000 to $63,400 for 2019. And the admin expense, you'll see there last year was $3,423,905, going to $3,660,385 for a balanced budget there of.
I still say state tax commission, the same thing. And he assured me that every one of them been notified. Mr. Stevens.
Okay. We need to make sure when we need to
Yes,
go
sir, we
records at
do.
the end of the month, and make sure. We've been told that before, and we end up not getting all our money and then getting it in a lump sum, so. All right, nothing else.
Debt service there at the bottom of the page, you'll see the ad valorem that will be coming in. that will, be designated for debt service last year was $2,598,489.50. This next year, money allocated for, debt service, if approved, is $2,696,100. We have our, tax anticipation loan, noted there at $2 million. And those bids will be in at the next board meeting and for your approval. So the total debt service revenue last year was $4,598,489.50. This year is $4,006,100. You'll see the breakdown of our debt and our bonds there, and the fluctuation each year. The amortization charts change depending on the interest. So you'll see how our 4 bonds there have changed. And we did refinance, and I apologize, the 2008 refunding bond is actually called 2018 now. That one refunded, and I'll have that reflected the next paperwork. So you can see on the last page, at the top of the last page, our total proposed for debt service expenses is $4,646,100, which meets the same revenue that is projected to come in. Last department is utilities. You'll see last year utility fund revenue was $4,690,700. This year you'll see a slight difference there at $4,684,100. And then the expense related to the utility department also has their personnel supplies, their debt service that they have in that department. And you'll see the proposed expense for next year is a matching $4,684,100. So that is the proposed 2019 budget.
Mr. Jim, may I say something?
Yes, sir.
I know all the board members know it backwards and forwards, but some of the citizens might not have been at the last meeting. In the police, and the fire, and the EMS, we had to get new, police cars. And then we needed a new ambulance and a new vehicle for the EMS and fire department, so that's why those figures jumped up. It's also why on page 1 it says, police income, $506,000. That's actually money we're borrowing this year. Of course, we'll go down as income. Next year, we have to start paying it back. This year it comes down. All right, that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
That is all I have, sir.
Now it's time for citizens, it used to be.
Either Alderman or citizen.
Would y'all like the citizens to go first, or y'all wanna go first?
Is there any questions from the audience?
I guess that means.
Yeah.
Y'all want the citizens to go? If you wanna speak, please raise your hand and give us your name. Mr. Francis J. Miller.
I request to be last. Let the rest of them speak, and I have a lot to say, and I know you'll put 3 minutes, and I'll say what I have to say in 3 minutes.
Is there anyone else who wants to comment or has any questions on the budget? Mr. Ryan?
Yeah, I've got questions.
Yes, sir.
But am I on the clock now?
As soon as you start speaking, you are.
Well, now, the law allows a reasonable time. The law does not put a 3 minutes limit on speaking.
That's what the board's been doing.
Okay, well, they
Yeah.
do a lot of things. You know,
All right.
I don't agree with any of them.
Would y'all agree with this at 5, since it's the budget, 5 minutes?
What do you want to do? You give them
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Ryan. Now your time starts, Mr. Ryan.
All right. Well, you've got Brian Moore, 3223 Grand Oaks Drive, Fernandez.
You're claiming $140,000 on the economic motel tax. The number that you presented right along was 300,000. That was what we were promised if we could get to. And we're coming in less than 50%.
May I answer that?
Shoot,
All right. The Bureau of
Your
Revenue, the
time.
state tax, yeah, my time. State told us they will be sending notice in motel. So we didn't send one. All right. They sent it out on a line they used to have hotel motel tax. Some of the hotels and motels had just removed that when the tax went away. So now we're in discussion of how to recoup that money if possible. That's why that reflection is lower, because we lost about 3 or 4 months of being able to get the tax.
do you believe you could ever get 300,000? I've tried.
Yes, sir.
Well, I doubt it. You never
I think
have
we
in
got
the past.
more,
Sorry, 269.
269. I was,
Two motel.
Which you probably never will again, since you got the 2%. But, okay, then, you're talking about the tax anticipation loan, $2 million. Last year, if my memory serves me correct, you repaid 2.1 million.
2,010,000.
2,010,000.
Interest was 10,000.
Okay, well, just check. Your police and fire department, those numbers are growing at an unsustainable rate. If you continue to grow these at 13% a year, in 5.5 years, the entire city will be nothing but cops. That'll be 100% of your budget. And that's not unlike what they had in Cicero, Illinois, when Al Capone ran. And there will never be a possibility again for the police to get a raise. But they will, because they'll be getting it from hookers, they'll be getting it from
that's
gambling.
speculation, Mr. Pryor.
Yes,
That's very much speculation.
well, these guys are not gonna work for free. I can promise you that. And once the town becomes nothing but police, which, if these growth rates continue, if the city grows at the rate it is, and the police grow at the rate they're going, those lines will cross, and that'll be the end of everything.
Yes, sir. May I answer that, please, sir?
Sure, you're talking.
Now, okay, like I stated, a large part of that increase for the police,
Was cop
but
car.
we got to have new vehicles. And that was money was reflected over in the lease right here on page 1. Excuse me, the 506,000. That was what, how much of that is for police cars?
333.
333? Sir?
352.
352. 352,000 of that is if we had to have new cars.
I don't know why, I just walked past 8 cars lined up ready to go on the street, you know?
Some of them pretty well wore out. I know what you're talking about. And then 152 or 154,000 for the fire.
154.
154.
Well, that's gonna continue into the future. I mean, that is an expense of the police and the fire department. And they're not gonna go away. You're not gonna pay to train this puppy while you've got an elephant in the room.
Well, see, these guys don't go home at 4. They work all night.
Who's that?
The police and fire, they don't go home they don't close and go home like you do. We stay 7/24. Gotta pay them. And them cars you're talking about, run one of them 24 hours a day and see how long it lasts. They have, cars are sort of like humans. They gotta have some downtime.
I got you, I just think it's
excessive.
Well, I know what you're saying, I know what you're thinking, I've been there, done that. These guys, and these guys, they're so underpaid, it's not even fun for the job they do. And, and you can only slice the pie so many times. We've sliced it till, there's nothing left.
Well,
We're trying to fix your streets, we're trying to protect you. These guys can't ride bicycles.
well, you
When
put your
when
money,
somebody comes into your store and they act a fool, what's the first thing you do? Pick up the phone, who do you call? You call Walmart?
I call the police
Exactly.
every year or two. Every year or two. It's
You're
a
lucky.
shock.
You're lucky.
That's not
Another
lucky.
thing in there, Mr. Blind, the state raised the matching requirement from the city on us, it's called PERS, the retirement from 15.75, what do you go up to, 17.4?
Yes.
So, that's another large chunk of it. You're talking about, if you just added the price of the cars to what the police budget was last year, that brings it up to $5,895,500. And then you add in the PERS and stuff, so $600,000. But most of that is for automobiles and the state requirement on the PERS. Then it affects our insurance payment too, it went up.
Well, you've put your money where you think it'll do the most good. One of the aldermen, his own house floods, and yet they're spending money on little league umpires, scorekeepers. I mean, can't the umpire keep score, 1, 2, 3, 4?
You
I mean,
can, but you're gonna have to pay him for it.
Mayor,
Alderman Roberts.
Mr. Bryant, I'd like to add something too. I know you're talking about your concern with police cars. About 6 weeks ago, majority of the police cars were in shops somewhere getting repaired. And we still had 3 broken down police cars on the lot here out back with no other available cars because we were having issues out of it. Now, I'd rather spend, I want 20 cars for officer safety. Because we as leaders of the city have to be responsible for everything. That's including protecting lives, budgets, whatever comes about. But this city has not bought units for a couple of years. So we really need 20 cars. But we got 2 previous and we're getting 8 more. We really need 10. I want to keep my officers safe. When you pick up the phone and call them and something's going on in your store, I want them to be able to get to you. We've got cars that have literally, the front end has fell out from under and passed or broke on the way to a call, causing either an accident or tearing a car up. We got to keep these cars safe as we can. They run 24/7. So we got to do what we have to do in our police department and all departments as far as vehicle safety. And I know some people say, well, why are y'all buying cars? Well, because we're liable if our officer or anyone driving a city vehicle tells us those vehicles are unsafe and we do nothing about it. We are liable personally and civilly as the city leaders.
well, I don't think you're personally liable. I think you're actually exempt from any loss. Is that right?
Well, I'm just telling you,
You don't wanna waste your time talking about liability.
It's his time.
that's where I feel. I speak how I, for myself, but I mean, I'm just, it's gonna meet our needs and serve our purposes, still save the city money on purchasing vehicles, so. I can assure you that every vehicles and stuff, they're looking for the best the best deal they can get on state contract for the type of work that we're doing with that vehicle.
Well, you understand, this money on these lease purchase vehicles, that's gonna be an ongoing expense. And by the time those leases are paid off,
That happens when you put 100,000 miles on a car and, that comes with it.
they aren't like my vehicle that I drive to and from work, put 50 miles on in the day. These police cars, fire trucks, and ambulances are running all the time. And I certainly don't want to be having a medical issue and have the ambulance break down on the way to come and get him, and then have to come from South Haven. You know, the vehicles are important, to keep them in shape, and when we need them, new ones. There's vehicles, I know my vehicle, when I was still with the police department, is still being driven. I think that thing is 12, 13 years old, so it's still going. And, you know, they do a good job of maintaining them, but after a while, you have to replace them. It's an expense that just has to be made.
All right, I think that's it.
All right.
All right, I think the gentleman on the back row had his hand up.
Oh, that was me. I was just gonna address something that he was talking about, because I didn't know, does the state or city, whoever owns the vehicles, is there a retention plan that perhaps maybe recycling them out earlier before they get so dragged down that perhaps maybe recouping some type of, you know, revenue from them, even though they may be used, so that, you know, we're not just putting a lot of expense into them once they're basically done, you know, but before it gets to that point, maybe, you know, putting them somewhere, trading them somewhere or something like that, and then getting a new one, so we sort of offset the cost of.
Have you looked at that before, Chief? I think you have seen you. Nod your head over there.
Mr. Mayor, that'd be up to y'all to buy me new cars on a regular basis, and historically, that hasn't happened.
No,
But it does make sense, it's good business sense. Missouri Highway Patrol does that for every vehicle in their fleet. They take them out of service between 60 and 65,000 miles. And when they sell them, they're selling them for $15,000 to $20,000. So you just roll that money towards the cost of a new one.
That's what Alderman Roberts was talking about. He was referring that Chief Ryle tried to get some of those cars from Missouri. The time he got a chance to get his talk to them, they were all sold.
I see.
I know some county governments trade vehicles every year, but they've got plenty of money. And that way the vehicle's always under warranty, like one fellow said one time, they have to buy tires. They have bukus of money, they can do that. But
That's fine, I was just
Yeah,
giving
that's
a
a very
suggestion.
viable, that's a very viable option. We just haven't been in financial shape to do it. We'll have a lot of these bonds for the grace of the Lord paid off for 2 or 3 years. And we've got businesses wanting to come in. We just appreciate the citizens working so hard with the board and with the administration and the staff. So we get these paid off. Some of these bonds were from 2000. For anybody, I don't think anyone on the board being one.
There was one bond that we're still paying on. When I took office in 2005, that big bond,
The 12 million.
yeah, it had already taken place. So we were paying on that before I ever took office in 2005.
Did you have anything else, Speedy Gentleman? No. All right. Does anybody else have anything they wish to say or ask a question about? There being no one else, I think that's your cue, Mr. Francis.
And Alderman at large, Mr. White, you have the clock, correct? I expect you to hold up your finger when I have 2 minutes,
Sir, I don't
1
have a
minute,
timepiece on me.
and then,
I don't-
will you do it? I need a warning for 2 and a warning for 1, so I can choose what I say first to get the most important thing in.
Hand me one of your canes and I'll stop you when it's time.
Everyone else.
Mr. Francis?
Mr. Francis, you don't have to stand up.
Mr. Francis?
No, I want you to be able to hear me.
Oh, we don't hear you.
Yeah, you are.
Mr. Francis, all Mr. Robinson down there is going to keep the time. Don't count on him yet, wait, Lord, to get situated.
Tonight is in tribute and remembrance that the city ever had. That's Battalion Chief Casey. With what this board did a year ago, so angry, He came to my house twice. He met me at Walgreens, and I tried to back the best fire, but he had his worst fire to fight was the fire in his heart when he was dying. I met him in the hospital, and I gave him a cross to fight that last fire. Only his family will know if he put out the worst fire he ever fought in his life. I hope he did. Now, what fired him up? In the public hearing, all the supervisors, anybody above the rank, which is Mr. Shields, Fire Chief, Chief of Police, you, Jim, AJ, everybody did their budget for 5% raise for everybody in the city. Everybody thought that's what they were going to get. Now, to set the record straight, LaShawna Johnson replaced the man that came up with this, which was Brian Pettigrew. He's no longer here. She was not here. She had nothing to say with it. Michael Geis was not here. He had nothing to say. And our mayor took a $15,000 a year pay cut. 15% since he was elected. And through that, he was broadsided. What Brian Pettigrew and some other aldermen, they threw that 5% in a pot, divided it up, because when you did that, the aldermen and women, except LaShawna, got 13.34% raise, and people of high end got less than 5. Now this year, I understand there's more money coming back to Jim, AJ, and some other people try to make up for that. But the aldermen gave themselves 13.34% raise when we couldn't patch our potholes, couldn't hire firemen, couldn't get asphalt. The fire chief, the chief of police at that time wanted 10 cars. He needs 10. He couldn't get it, but the alderman gave him 13.34. Casey could not handle that. He got so angry before he died. He said to me, "What are you going to do?" I said, "You've got to let the people." What made him so mad in the public hearing, and everyone thought that's what it's going to do. When the public hearing was over with, nobody got to speak on it. On the next meeting, which will be what you guys are going to do September 11th, the board changed it with Brian Pettigrew to that 2,100. All people got raised 2,100, but the higher end got less, and that affected Casey, but he could not handle it. And he said, "Why does our fire chief have to ask for firemen to fight these fires? When you go out on a fire," he said, "you have to have a man behind a hose. It doesn't matter if he's making $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour, or $10,000. It takes X amount of men to be on the hose to put out." And he says, "We have to have 3 more, and they don't even care." This is why, as a fire chief, not requesting it. Because it's a waste of time with the aldermen we have that don't understand. And he couldn't accept it. I gave him a cross. You've got to put that fire out. Casey, you've got to put that fire out. You'll never get to heaven unless you put that fire out. I don't know if he did or didn't. The point I'm making, now, that same board puts out this little paper, and if I put a match to it, I know Casey would never put that fire out. Asking for another $1,000 per employee raise when we can't have asphalt. The planning department wanted 500. He should have 3 fighting firemen. He won't ask for them because he's afraid to. He needs a new truck. And we need the 10 cop cars. Why are we giving employees all got 2,100 last year? They shouldn't have any more until we get the city road. Yes, sir.
Wait a second.
Thank you. Okay.
1 minute, okay.
Okay, I said it, no, so I said, make sure, he did not vote, she did not vote, and you gave 15% pay cut, while the rest of them took 13.34. We need 3 more fire votes.
I did not get 13%.
Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, Yes, and yes, Tommy Bledsoe told me how he didn't qualify because he was employed before, so he didn't get it either. But I'm asking you, Chief Linville, request 3 more fighting fireman hoses.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. Does anybody have anything to say? Anyone else have anything? Yes, ma'am.
Mine's not gonna be nearly as flamboyant. My name's Melissa Schaffhausen Ferguson. A lot of you already know me. I come to most of the meetings, whenever I can. Sorry for looking like Big Pen. I work at a nursery, so I get dirty working on farms. Anyways, as some of you know, I've got a bachelor's degree in sports and recreation administration, which is a park management degree. So I know a great deal about recreation departments. I know a great deal about the hotel motel ad valorem tax that we've got. I know that we have to work in tandem, the recreation department, the city, and businesses, so we all benefit. So we have a great local economy. If we don't put on events, hotels aren't gonna have bodies in beds. We have to put on events. We have to figure that out. But if you've got a skeleton staff in your recreation department, no offense to you guys needing people. You guys needing people. Everybody needs people. We just need just one. We need one person that knows how to do all that in the recreation department. There was a position that was vacated last year. It's never been filled. You guys already had a budget even for that person, but it's still never been filled. I wanna know why. That's the department that can bring you revenue, other than planning department and code writing tickets and permits. You guys writing tickets. You guys may be writing
She
tickets.
don't like you.
You know, things like that. I mean, I know we get, of course, revenue from taxes and stuff, property tax, blah, 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 whatever. But that's what the recreation department can do. They can put on events. They can bring people in to the city. They can spend it at your business. They can spend it at his business. They're not gonna come unless we put on events, and we have to have people that know how to do that. We have to have people who have a vision for the recreation department in this city. I know I'm one of them. We don't have an aquatics. You can have better parks. We can develop more things. We have stormwater management problem. Recreation department can do things like that. The facilities that they build can help with stormwater management. We work in tandem with the Army Corps of Engineers all the time. These are things that we can do to help mitigate flooding. Are you guys working on any of it? Are y'all looking to hire? And you have a position that's open.
All right. Have we got time? What's the time? Mr. Jim? Well, get back to what you said about the Corps, Ms. Ferguson. So at every meeting of the MRT, our engineering firm, Neil Schaefer, Mr. Elevation over there right now, they stay in contact with the Corps engineer. We've gone to meetings with the Corps, the district in Vicksburg and Memphis combined with the county. We write letters to the congressmen, to the senators. I think, remember at the last board meeting,
Yeah.
we announced that finally, after 6 years, that the Corps had been authorized, given the funding, to do a study, and they're gonna do the whole thing on all of DeSoto County.
Right.
And it'll be, a lot of it will be centered here on Horn Lake Creek.
So who do we have to represent that, to represent our interests, to make sure that our needs are gonna be met?
The mayor and the department, Mr. Penny, and then Mr. Malavasi. Now, they
Okay.
said it's gonna take 3 years for this study,
Yeah.
and we just came back, what, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks
So
ago.
that means we've got
from
3
a
years
meeting
for a
up in
vision
Memphis,
for our
Where
city.
we met with the Port of
Right.
Memphis, where we met with the
So we can
Corps
make
of
sure we get
Engineers,
done what we need to get
where
done.
we met with, Soda County representatives, all up there in Memphis City Hall, so
Right,
we discussed this at the last meeting. I don't know.
that in 3 years' time, certain things are gonna take place.
No, 3 years' time, the flood study will be done, then they will start construction. Some of the work that our department.
Construction
does,
on what though?
Whatever
whatever
they
they
come up,
decide.
whatever they decide.
So we still have to have someone in the city that has a vision that can include recreation in that stormwater, management mitigation.
Are you talking about
That's
the
what I'm
flooding
saying.
problem, are you talking about the stormwater, are you
All
talking
of
about
it.
recreation?
It's all, I mean, it all melds all together,
It
that's
all
the
melds
thing.
together,
Yeah.
I would love to see a big walking trail down that 400 acres we have,
Yeah.
down through Horn Lake Creek.
Yeah.
Bird watching, wildlife habitat, all that.
Having marshlands and things like that,
All
that's
that.
all,
That's the
and
whole-
that's what
that's the whole
recreation
ball.
does.
I looked up today, Mississippi Wildlife and Fisheries, trying to see what some of their programs are. But we had to wait till this fell in
Mm-hmm.
about the Corps of Engineers agreeing to do this study. So, yes, ma'am, in answer to your question,
Okay.
yes, ma'am. There are several people here in the city, and it's several positions. The head of Public Works, the engineer, and the mayor's office. Those people, and that happens to be Mr. Penny, Mr. Vince, and myself, we keep the board informed. The board tells us their wishes, we go back. But yes, ma'am, it is a very much ongoing standard communication thing. And I sure wish Senator Cochran was still up there, because he was in appropriations.
Yeah.
He would've been a
Well, I
big
think
help.
the planning department and, the recreation department need to definitely be at the table on that, because they're the ones that, they're the brains,
We don't
to be
definitely
honest.
say it.
Not
We
saying
don't-
that the other people aren't the brains, but they're part of the solution
I agree
to
with you,
that.
but we don't say, sometimes I meet who can come, who can't. They just tell us which
I get that.
departments.
Are we doing anything about the land, water, and conservation fund, because that's also part of,
All of that is tied into the
Stormwater
study that the
mitigation.
Corps of Engineers is doing, Ms. Ferguson. All of that is tied together. Am I not correct, Mr. Shields and Mr. Gann?
NRC.
Sir?
NRC.
Oh, that's right, Natural Resources Conservation Service. They call it NRCS. But that takes years for me to come down to that, 5 to 6 years.
but we have to have a plan.
We do have a plan. I just explained it to you, ma'am. I mean, if you're talking about a blueprint, this field's gonna go here, or this field's gonna go there, no, ma'am, because we don't know what the Corps is gonna do along the creek. And they don't know until they get through with their stuff.
So in 3 years' time, are we gonna have that staff member that knows how to do that?
I assure you, you will. You've got the ones here that know how to do it now, but we can't do it now. All right. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Ferguson? Sir?
I might just mention, because I mentioned to you, that I met with Governmental Services last week, and they did talk about Tupelo. And I have not put that information together for the Board of Aldermen, but they showed how they went out, built an aquatics facility.
When you say aquatic, are you talking about one of those splash foods?
No, we're talking about a swimming pool, a
Olympic
total
size.
entire complex, and like a natatorium. The whole thing, indoor, everything, park,
Nobody uses it to it.
They closed it.
They did.
They closed it.
that's because there's no one that lives in Tunica.
But they used to, the Soda County schools used to go there and use it for the swimming competitions and stuff.
But the schools won't even build a swimming pool for that.
They don't have the money to do it, we don't adequately fund education to begin with.
Yeah, their budget's up about what, 100 million? No, 40 of them. Alderman Bledsoe.
Years ago, when I was park director, we tried to get a swimming pool right out here, and we looked into it, and at that time, the alderman elected not to have it because of the insurance, the upkeep and all that.
And that's
because
outdoor,
It would've been hard
not
for us
indoor.
to keep up, and back then,
Yeah.
you could get grants, now they got so tight on grants, you have to be a
That's
rider.
part of the and that's what I am a grant writer.
But we was trying to get a grant for that
That's
over
part
there.
of the Land Water Conservation Fund. I mean, that's all part of that, which Congress has to renew, which we have to have representation that is, you know, privy to that and understands that type of thing, so we can get that kind of money to come to our states, and then we, you know, can do that.
All right, just
There's,
a moment,
it's a
please, sir.
three-pronged process.
All right, you've had that, very, very instructive too, thank you. Mr. Robinson had the floor for, then it's your turn, sir. Did you have something else to say, Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, I was just gonna, finish on that, governmental services, showed where, Tupelo did that. They turned around and built a police, admin building for $10 million, paid for that. And I hope that, we can present that to the Board of Aldermen at some point, as we are looking at our debt, some of our debt that's rolling off. What they did is they kept that millage, and that was invested for capital improvement, and they basically paid themselves to build facilities, all capital improvements. So that is an option. There are municipalities out there doing that, and we have the opportunity to do that in 3, 5, 7 years. We can set up that plan.
When the debt rolls off. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I never stated my name, but Chase Smith. It sounds like to me what she's talking about it's just basically face forward, looking front forward to the future of a city that's expanding, however you look at it. But I just have one question. Do we as a city have a grant writer?
Yeah,
Okay.
different departments try to.
Try to.
Well, we have one, Miss Limbo is good at it. But, as you heard say here tonight, many, many a time, the whole big thing, holding things up a lot, is we gotta get this debt off of us. Because the debt with the grant, a lot of these grants are matching. And we have to pay off the debt, get it rolled off, so we can have some funds when we do apply for these. Most of them are what, 80-20?
Yeah, some used to be 50.
Right. Well, and so again, and that's fine, I think she was saying, and, you know, everybody's looking forward to, do we have somebody that would be willing just particularly for that particular thing, so that when the debts do roll off, we're already set up, ready to roll, you know, with asking for grant money or, again, for, you know, the expansion of the city. And I'm sure we have some people that.
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up. I saw a thing there about connecting children with nature, and I sent it over to Mr. Shields. I don't think he's had time to go through it, and I didn't either. I was playing catch up from being off, you know, see if there's any grants available through that. Maybe for walking trails or whatever. Is there anything else about the budget?
Mayor,
Alderman Robert.
I'd like to say this. Everybody's comment has been good, and appreciate those. In order for us to be like some of the other cities, we're gonna have to step outside that box. We're in a box. We got a lot of good ideas, but we can't keep them contained. And I'm the type of person that you know when I say it, I'll get outside. You've got to do that in order to get stuff like Tupelo got, like some of the other cities got. As long as we control the box and don't get outside the box, then all we're gonna have is the box. So we gotta look at ways to get outside the box, use our people, use the community, and let the people feel like they're a part of it. As long as we stay in the box, you know, people just gonna come and go, you know, because they don't think anybody cares. But you put a city in motion that cares, and get outside the box and start stretching your minds, watch how we will grow. And I mean, I'm gonna stay outside the box. I've been out of the box all my life, so I'm gonna stay outside the box. I'm gonna think of ways to do things and communicate. But that's how Tupelo got that. So got a lot of good ideas here tonight and stuff. but we got to stretch the box. So the box bust, we get a bigger box, we start growing, we get a bigger box. More money comes in, the bigger your box gets, the more money you got coming in. So, I'm ready to get outside the box with y'all, so whenever y'all get ready, let me know, I'll roll some good ideas. They're only my ideas, but I think that, we can get outside that box and be a lot more than what we are at this day and time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? Nothing else? Mayor?
Go ahead.
I will just mention to the Alderman, in your packet, each year during this time, I put the sponsorship information, and, I highlighted the 19 in yellow. I think a year or so ago, Alderman White had asked that we have this in there, so as they come up, we just have them on consent agenda, but you'll see those on there. Some of the bigger ones are the Economic Development Council, the Horn Lake Chamber, which you just approved tonight. I did put on there the Horn Lake Touchdown Club when Coach came and spoke. That is a request that is still out there. So you can see the total for that on the second page is $134,683. We proposed in the budget of bringing in $140,000. We hope that will continue to grow, but I just wanted to let you see a ballpark of some of the things that we have had over the years that we've used the hotel motel tax for, and some of the questions the last few meetings, you will see down at the bottom of the first page, a lot of MML membership and conference expenses are included in this.
Thank you, sir. If there be nothing else, Mr. Witt, this is a public hearing, you asked for a public, go ahead, yes.
Yes, I'm here as a member of Holly Grove subdivision, and I'd like to see where in this budget there has been any provision for street repairs. Repairs of our streets. Okay, I live on a street, the same street now for going on 12 years. Some of the same potholes have been there for 12 years. I've torn cars up, suspensions, cars get blowouts. Their subdivision's the same way. Yet we're told every time a big group of us comes to this meeting, we're told there's no money in the budget. Alderman Geis, when he ran for office, part of his platform, things that he told us was he's gonna try to get our streets fixed. Okay, and yet we've just prepared a $17 million budget, and there's nothing in here for the repairs of my street. I pay my taxes, I keep my home up, I'm tired of being told there's no money, it's not in the budget. We all are. We want our streets repaired. There'd be a provision in here for something towards the repairs of our streets. And these are just 2 subdivisions, 2 streets. There are many more. Scott Farms is a disgrace. Okay? Now, if we have to go back to the drawing board or whatever we have to do, but y'all as a group need to stop telling us, the citizens, there's no money. That's what doing a budget is. You put the money and you make your budget. You start with it.
There's right at 1.3, right close to 1.3 million in there for streets. Yeah.
Where?
It's allocated, Bill, it's actually, 1,000,005.
This right here, street.
No, that's a different.
That's a different.
Okay, how does that translate to when Holly Ridge Drive is gonna be paved for the first time? Because it still has the original, construction layer
Construction base.
that it had for 12 years.
That money goes in the budget, for street repair over there from his department, basically, which is the worst ones, and they're supposed to get paid. Is that correct, Mr. Shields?
Mayor, we don't need potholes fixed. We need an overlay of asphalt. Because we've never had one. It's in terrible condition. So is their subdivision, so is Scott Farms down off of Nail. We need to find a way to get these things handled, because we, the citizens, we're tired of being told there's no money for it, and yet we'll spend money to go play golf, for all these different charities, and then not there's anything wrong with those things, but that's just my opinion, and I appreciate you hearing me.
Mayor?
A lot of money.
I know that's not my ward, but I've been over there driving too because of the concerns, and, Jitter's been over there. I don't know if any of the rest of the aldermen have been over there, but I know that, those roads are pretty bad. I mean, you ease in there, that's how you gotta get in there. When the police go through there, they gotta ease through there. Fire go through there, they gotta ease. Because they literally have dip outs, that's what I call them, because they're watered out so bad. But, I mean, they're all over the city, you know, but you know, we've got to, like I said, I think a lot of our citizens are aggravated because things are not getting taken care of. Again, that goes back to getting out of that box. So, I know we're trying to do stuff and get things taken care of, but I can tell you on the front hand, and I'm sure Mr. Alderman Geis is aware of this, you will be seeing some more people there forming another thing to come back and talk to us. So they gave us a chance to get back with them. We still haven't gotten back with them. They're now forming another deal to come back and speak with us about this. They're not the only area, from what I've been told. So, but again, I know funds are limited, but yet,
I think
all
we're
of us
now,
pay
I think
taxpayer
we're now in
dollars.
a position to explore some bids for different subdivisions, since he's allocated money to do so.
We don't know for sure when they got those. Mr. Shields is gonna have something to say when his public hearing's over that ties directly into this and might do something to shed light on the situation. It's about the use tax. I don't know
I think we're in a position that we have.
How much money they want to
make them do something.
So, what he's talking about is we shouldn't give ways over to spend that money on the road. Is that what you meant?
No, sir, I didn't say anything about raises. I wish everybody in the city could get a raise. I'm all for that. I'm talking about, we're always told, no money for streets, no money for streets, no money for streets. You should come and drive down Holly Ridge Drive from Redberry all the way back up to DeSoto Road. You cannot go 10 feet without hitting some kind of major bumper pothole. And they come, and the guys come in and they patch them, and they patch them, and they patch them, and it rains and the patch washes away. Over and over and over. We're doing the same thing for years. We're not making any progress. From, in the $200,000 range, and it's worthless if you're having to drive down a half gravel road to get to them.
It doesn't matter if your home's worth 10,000 or 500,000, you're entitled to your street. Well, now, I know this board, several of these members have said that when we think to control, and they basically inherited this. I'm not blaming anybody. Everybody thought the good times would last forever. Everything got rolling, and then a recession hit. So that blew everybody out. But this board has been trying to get everything worked down, so then they can go out. I've heard several of them talk, maybe in the not too distant future, we can borrow a good bit of money to really get started on major road projects. Now, but the thing of it is, you gotta pay your debts first. There's no way around that. Mr. Smith?
Yes, is it some way to, I don't know, this may be a legal thing, is it some way to require the construction builders that come in to develop these subdivisions to use part of the bond or whatever to complete the overlay?
Yes,
Because
sir, there is.
again, my subdivision is Crutcher Heights, and as he said, not even 10 feet. As soon as you turn in 1 foot, you're hitting a pothole. You gotta drive 2 miles per hour or you're going to break your axle or something. So, I don't know if possibly something, I'm not sure what you're talking with Mr. Shields or whatever, but, as he was saying, if it could be some light shed, maybe say, hey, you know, we'll start with this subdivision street first, and maybe we'll try to do this one this year or something. And as he said, a complete overlay, not just a, you know, and that may be something that comes through, again, looking at grants or bonds. I'm not sure how we were able to get Horn Lake Road done and by the Walmart. Maybe they had something to do with that too, but.
Well, of course, we're doing Horn Lake Road. When's construction start? January, February?
It'll be somewhere around March, April.
Every time we talk, it goes back.
Weather's gonna break.
Yeah, spring of next year.
Well, 80% of that money came from MPO, that's federal money. 10% of it came from county, and 10% came up from the city taxpayers. You got a $2.5 million job that's costing taxpayers $250,000. But, getting back to your first question, Mr. Smith, when a developer goes to put in a road, to the subdivision, a developer, he has to put up a road bond and meet city requirements for that road. If he does not meet those requirements and leaves, then we can call it as either a letter of credit or a bond, whatever form of guarantee he has given. Unfortunately, in the years past, that wasn't followed through all the way. But this board right here has been great about it. We just got through calling one year before last on a major developer. Mr. Shields and Mr. Vince stay on top of it all the time. But that was water under the bridge. And it just happened. But to answer your question, yes, sir, there's certainly legal ways. They call it the final lift. You know, they put down some asphalt and gravel, then your final lift. And when they do that, it's held up for a year or two, then they're released from that bond. And they're released from it, and a year warranty normally. Is that correct, a year normally?
In general.
Yeah. Did that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody have anything else? Oliver, excuse me.
Just before you gavel us out, Mayor, I do need to announce that in addition to adopting the FY19 budget, a recess meeting next Tuesday, the 11th, 6 p.m. Also, the resolution setting the tax rate at 50 mils, which it currently is now.
And the millage won't be going up. All right, but this is just to end the public hearing, so don't run off, please. Nothing else, and this public hearing is now closed. Now, members of the board, staff, citizens of Horn Lake, Mr. Penny, this use tax just passed. I know there's a lot of confusion over it.
Yes, sir, it did.
A lot of confusion over it. Now, this money has to be spent on infrastructure. That goes to you. It has to be spent on infrastructure. I've read it a couple of times. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years till we get this amount of money out.
Well, probably close to 4.
Really?
Yeah. It actually backs up, and it's hard to summarize. If you read this and understand it, you're better than Billy is over, I'll tell you that. Because, you know, a lot of this is gonna be left up to what these representatives, everybody gonna tell you. You read it, and you read what you want to say. They're gonna tell you what they said it said, you know, no matter how you make it come out. And the way I'm looking at it is starting in July of this year through July of next year, they will take like 1.4% of whatever they take in, and it's going to the farm. Okay, and they'll do that continuously, increasing it up to 15% within the next 5 years. Now, if that farm grows all on in the first year, then you're subject to drawing off of that. And what you would draw off that is based on whatever they take 8 years. They take 10 years. They take off the 2 highest and take off the 2 lowest years of money that you spent for infrastructure. And then they average those years. Whatever that average is that you spent,
that's what you'll be eligible for. In other words, if you spend $700,000 a year, you're eligible for $700,000. Now, the only thing is you gotta spend 710 and that 700.
It just can't be budgeted, it's got to be actually spent.
That's right, yeah, spent, not budget. That's what they're gonna have, or spent. But in the infrastructure, they do include water, sewer, storm drains, street repairs, all the infrastructure, all of our lift stations, all of our wells. So, when you combine that, you'd be surprised at the money we do spend.
We spent a chunk on the new system over in Twin Lakes last year.
Yeah, as long as it's not bond money, you can count it.
A lot of citizens don't know that. We spent about $1.5 million, did we not?
Almost $1.5 million.
For that well system in Twin Lakes, and it wasn't bonded.
Yeah, I've got about halfway through this, so I'm gonna do just, it takes a while to digest what's in here, but that is the gist of it. You probably won't see any money, I would say, for at least 1 to 2 years, before we'll see any money.
All right, thank you, sir. Alderman Roberts.
Spencer, on that, I read that, man, it is a lot of stuff in there, but one thing they're going to do to start the initial, correct me if I'm wrong, from what I understand by reading what you have there, is they're gonna take 3 million or 3 billion, which one will it be?
3 million.
3 million, they're gonna take 3 million and divide it up between all the municipalities to start their stuff with.
Well, they're talking about it.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to talk about. But then they're talking about,
That's not guaranteed.
not guaranteed, but they're talking about the percentages, like he was trying to say, of the monies that are gonna be coming in on that. But then when they look back to reevaluate, you wanna keep things in a consistent base to where you're spending this money to get these roads taken care of, infrastructure, whatever needs to be taken care of, because they're basing your percentage overall in return off the use stuff to be higher. The more money you spend, the more you'll get back to help take care of your infrastructure problems completely.
Remember, like I said, if you keep on reading, it also gets in the population based on the percentage of, money.
What your sales tax collectors are, percentage of total sales.
Yeah, there's no way that you,
I know, I think going back to Alderman Roberts over here, we're supposed to get $10,000, because $3 million sounds like a chunk, but you divide it by 298 municipalities, and that's $10,000 a person, a city.
yeah, and that's just.
On their slide scale, it's showing the city of Horn Lake, $681,000.
Yeah, this is what, about 3 years?
4 years.
See, that goes back to what you said, Mr. Bill and Mr. Smith. Like Alderman White and, Mr. Campbell looked it up on their scale. They're anticipating in 4 years, we'll get 681,000. Which does start mounting up every year, but we've gotta wait till it goes through, and if they go through it.
That and they're basing that number off of what you spend. That's what I'm saying, they put that number out there, but if they average it, and you've only spent $360,000, you'll not get to 680.
Yeah, you get to 360.
All right, thank you, sir. I don't have anything. Alderman Geist, do you have anything tonight, sir? Alderman Bledsoe?
No.
Alderman Roberts?
Yeah, I do. We definitely, our city is under attack with people getting hurt and stuff. Our, good employees, all employees, we definitely need to keep each other in prayer. I was thinking about that, the other night, you ride, an innocent riding home, on your motorcycle. Who knows? We never know what's gonna happen to us, but.
Alderman Roberts, they might not know what you're.
We had officer, we had, somebody working in our fire department was on the way home the other night. A deer run out in front of him and he hit the deer off on 60-90 Fall Road, and, damaged him pretty good. Broke his leg and foot and arm, and, it's pretty severe.
Sunday night.
And, lady was hanging on by, just by the skin tissue, ain't, one of those broke so bad. So, you know, we all need to, you know, if you think about somebody, pray for them, because that's the best thing you can do. You know, and so, we definitely need to keep everybody in prayers around here, because we got a lot of things going on and stuff, and you never know when we might be next, but we definitely need to keep each other in prayer and look to do what we can do that God gives us for.
Thank you, sir. Alderman Johnson.
I just want to thank everybody for being here. We know we're crammed into this room, and we're going over things that some of you probably heard over and over again. So it takes all of us, not just us sitting over here. It takes us all, and you know, I just want to say thanks for being a concerned citizen, concerned for your neighborhood, concerned for your neighbors, concerned for our city, loving our city enough to be here. So thank you.
Thank you. Alderman White. Chief Ryle, you have anything?
I don't have anything, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone have any questions for Chief Ryle? Mr. Penny?
No, I'm good.
Anyone have questions for Mr. Penny? Mr. Fitz, you the engineer, you have anything?
No, Mayor, I just would like you to add to the conversation, please, about the roads. Too. A lot of all the people talked to me in the past few years about, you know, what we do here, what we do there, and there are, you know, obviously it's a money issue, which it always comes down to, but as we see us getting money through some of these programs, I think, we talked about an asset management program for your streets, which I think is something that I would recommend we look at in the coming days, maybe, so that as we get the money, we spend it in the right places and make it, benefit more efficiently as far as what you do with it. Because there's a lot of streets out there now that obviously need work. And so we've got more projects than we got money. So the question becomes, how do we spend that money? And I think a program like that would help prioritize and help, utilize that money in a way that you get your best bang for your buck, I guess you can say.
But, Alderman Rock.
Have you contacted the Corps yet to find out anything about what they've been looking at as far as?
Well, $3 million study they're working on. That's the big picture. So, you know, it'll be 3 years before we hear anything from that. But in the meantime, we do have a local project going on, we call it the AS program. We're continuing working on that, and in fact, we're in the last phase of it now. And we'll take that data that we collected and incorporate it into the bigger picture that they'll have, so that maybe, you know, we can streamline their process to some degree to help get it done quicker. But we stay in contact with Cole as far as.
I need my flooding issue resolved.
Yeah, well, and in the meantime, if there are problems right out the street where we start getting a lot of phone calls, say, you know, this certain area, you know, we can certainly go out there and look at it and see if there's something local that we can do to fix that problem. They have to do a $3 million study. Just go out there and look at it and see if we can, you know, make a bigger pipe crossing or, you know, clean out the ditch or whatever it may take. So we can do stuff like that.
About 8 years ago, you looked at those five, there's 3 2-foot ones going in that one lane, and 2 2-foot ones going in that other lane. I got 10 feet of pipe coming in, 2 manholes there that, you know, that's not enough pipe to cover all that water that comes off top of that field. I mean, you're supposed to cover 9 acres, and you cover 27 plus acres of water, that creates a problem.
There's things we can do there. That's what I'm talking about.
Anything else, Sean? Mr. Davidson, you have anything?
Just an update to the board from our, on the planning commission meeting last Monday. Did have one major site plan approval, for the Delta Technical College. Site plan was approved for a new, 60,000 square feet, but it take a couple of feet to build it. It's gonna be located south of where they're at now,
Alderman Robert.
Did our new owners come in and pay their tap fees yet? Up there by Walmart?
Oh, no, yeah, no, they actually have, they got one more process they're gonna go through, they got to do their, plan. We got that, it's gonna be on the plan.
Well, I knew they were in the process, I just told them they brought us some money.
Anybody else have any questions? Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Chief Rimble, do you have anything?
Well, I'll just kind of emphasize on the Alderman Roberts. I do have two firemen that are in the med, motorcycle accidents, both of them. One of them was about 5 weeks ago. He still hadn't really woke up. He's somewhat making some eye opening, but I don't know how far he's gonna be able to come or where it's gonna lead him to if he ever really gains conscience. But, and then the other one from Sunday night that hit the deer, he's gonna recover, but he's got broke up pretty good, so it's just gonna take time. Prayers is all I can ask for anybody, and I pray for anybody if they ride a motorcycle to sell it. If they don't sell it, I ask my firemen to try not to ride them after dark, but accidents happen every day, we pick them up. These two just are hit home because we're having to live through this one, not just pick them up and send them to the med and let someone else live through it. So we're just kind of, we got this, but, I would like to have 3 more firemen, but I got 2 in the med right now, I want them back first.
Are you really asking for 3 more?
I've been asking them, they know that.
Well, I didn't, Casey said you wouldn't ask.
Oh, we've been asking it for years, me and
Mr.
Casey, but
Francis, he has been.
pretty much everybody needs.
Oh, you
one
have no
person.
idea how bad that man was.
Well, Chief has been in here every budget year asking for it.
We always ask, but we're gonna try to manage what we got. I'd just like to get my 2 out of the med.
Chief, I know,
Alderman White.
I know that, and I pray that you get them at 2, but we're probably talking about an extended length of recovery if they get to recover at all. So, do we need, or do you need, is there, okay. I guess what I'm trying to ask is there, do we have any that you have tested that we could hire to give you some manpower?
Well, to answer that question, we kind of today, me, the mayor, and Jim, and I kind of came, we had a lot to do the 12-week medical, family medical, and we will be doing a fundraiser the 5th and the 6th. I guess all proceeds that we do out there at the fire station that day, we'll split it between the 2. And we're also working on, I think the Iron Horse is doing a poker run this Sunday.
But they gonna do it on
But it's for
motorcycle.
Kings, huh?
But they gonna do it on motorcycle.
They can drive it in a car if you want to. You don't have to go on a motorcycle, that's your call. There's a ton of motorcycle riders out there, but I'm hoping they'll do it and nobody gets hurt, but, you could ride a horse and fall
Actually,
off and
they'll
break your
probably
neck.
do more since they were injured on a motorcycle. The guys that have them will actually probably do more money than they would have if they had been on a motorcycle.
Right.
But the point I was trying to make is, I mean, I don't want your department to be short of people. You know, you need men, like Mr. Francis says, you're gonna need some men on some hoses, and I know you sure enough too short right now.
Well, and that was, to answer your question, I've got guys right now, and I guess that's where I met with the mayor, I've got guys that really wanna just come in and work, no pay, just give it to their pay, but we're working on that detail. I've talked with Mr. Campbell about some of that today, but hadn't really gotten in depth with what we can do legally and what I can do to help them. But we're gonna try to, I got firemen that says, I'll just work every shift Kenny's got. You don't pay me, pay him, but, we still could only do so much there.
I just didn't want us to be short of people.
Well, right now,
We don't wanna get somebody else hurt because we.
the 2 that's out, one's on one shift, one's on another, so we're just one short on each shift right now. And I've been that short before when losing people, so. We're managing, it's not like we don't have people. I understand we'd like to have 3 more, but we're managing, or 6 more, or 12 more, but we're gonna manage with the money we got. But just to let you know that, keep praying for them 2 boys. Yeah.
Anyone have anything else? Alderman Robert.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add to that, because, I know in in the past budgets, we've asked you about trying to put people in, and for some reason or another, we never did put anybody in. I just wanted to make sure that there was clear from my part, because, I asked you before about it, and you said, well, there's just no money, but
he has asked for people.
and, but I just.
Who turns him down?
Us.
That's the point I'm making.
Like I told you, the pie's only got so many
I have,
slices.
I have asked you.
Throw this money into 3 firemen. This sheet of paper right here, the King
Whoa,
Commute.
whoa, whoa,
Need
whoa, whoa.
firemen, there's other
Public
departments.
hearing, no, y'all can talk afterwards. Alderman Roberts has the floor now.
Anyway, what I was saying was, so, you know, I wouldn't want anybody thinking that I hadn't asked for, because, for extra people for the police, the fire, the public works, planning, parks, because I know that we all need people, you know, and, you know, and if you look at different departments, some people need 9 people, some need 12, some need 5, some need 4, you know, but my thing is, I've always tried to ask, well, how come you're not trying to hire anybody? Well, we need to do this, we need to do that. So my thing is, I'm always been for hiring personnel that we need. And so, I mean, the police right now, again, they're running reactive a lot of times instead of proactive. And then fire department gets short, they'll be running reactive, trying to get somebody in. So department's running reactive all the time too, so I mean, come on, again, I'm gonna say this again, and you're probably gonna hear it more times than tonight, but you gotta get out of that box. You need to bounce out of that box, and look for every angle we can. Sales tax dollars, several years back, Andrea Freeze found us tons of money that was going across to South Haven.
$150,000.
How much?
150-something thousand.
Yeah, like 157, wasn't it?
Somewhere along there.
51, 157. So I would respectfully ask you to work with, get Mr. Jim on the phone and let's follow these people up.
About the businesses in Horn Lake paying their sales tax.
Well, go through every month, but I've met with the Department of Revenue, looked at their list versus our list, and especially all the big businesses, you know, that one was Home Depot, and going down through and making sure that those are on in the Horn Lake. They've got it great set up on their website where it listed by municipalities.
So that concern, that's a valid concern, but that's already been addressed for a long time. He
Let
makes
Mr.
checks
Patel
all
know
the
down
time.
there that he's gonna have to pay his taxes on those hotels.
So we have to wait on Mr. Stevens. Unfortunately, Mr. Stevens has a lot more to say about the you and me. We don't get to say that goes up to them. You've dealt with tax commission before, and so have I. And so we know how that goes. Anybody else have any questions for Chief Manager? Mr. Calvert, you have anything, sir?
September 10th, 12th, fall baseball starts at the park. And it'll be Monday, Wednesday. Virtual market will be 15th, 16th. And also 22nd, football will start. And we have a cross-country meet with Horn Lake High, 11th and the 18th of this month.
Anybody have any questions, for Mr. Calvert? Mr. Robinson, do you have anything, sir?
Nothing else, sir.
Anybody have any questions, Mr. Robinson? Mr. Campbell, do you have anything for the board?
I do not, Mr. Mayor.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Campbell? All right. We have nothing now for executive session. Is there?
Mayor, I make a motion, we recess until September 11th at 6 p.m.
Thank you, sir. Second. Motion by Alderman Roberts, second by Alderman Bledsoe. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Roberts. Alderman Johnson. Alderman Guy. Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman White.
We are recessed till Tuesday night at 6. Please come back. Alderman Roberts, proceed with me, please.